Where did you guys find the energy there in the fourth quarter to outscore them by 18 points?
Play our game.
Just play our game, getting stops, rebounding the ball. That was really fun.
How big were those two shots that Dinwiddie hit back to back, the 3 and the 2?
I mean, both biggest shots of the game, and then P.J. with the 3 too. So the 3 biggest shots of the game for sure.
Luka, how aware were you of the NBA Cup implications of this, and the fact that unless something bizarre happens, you guys are going to be the wild card in that?
Yeah, I knew it. If we win, then probably we're gonna be the wild card.
What do you think of that? What's that mean to you?
I mean, it's big. I like this cup. I used to play it in Spain, so it was really fun out there. So I like this schedule.
Luka, we could see it out there. Could you tell PJ, kind of bringing up his intensity as well at the end of the game?
Yeah, I mean, PJ always brings it. Just very positive guy. Keeps us together. We have so many leaders in the team, and the chemistry's off the roof. So we're just getting started, but it's fun.
Luka, last week, Coach talked about PJ needing to play as well as he was while you're in the lineup. You're in the lineup. He has a massive game. What about PJ why does he fit so well next to you?
It's not just next to me. He feels, next to everyone. I think he's great. Like I say, he's very vocal. He's always positive. And then basketball-wise, he can do a little bit of everything. He can guard. He probably guards the best player every night. And then rebounding. He had 7 assists today. Playmaking, scoring. And it was back-to-back 2 big shots. So we have all the trust in the world with him.
¿Qué tan importante, Luka, es ganar este tipo de partidos remontando contra buenos equipos en el camino a agarrar más confianza y sobre todo apenas regresando de la lesión?
Sí, muy importante. Son muy buen equipo, así que no es un partido difícil y de volver de esa forma es muy bueno para el equipo.
Obviously, you had the hot start in the first half, but what went into those kind of third quarter struggles where you guys were turning the ball over and missing shots?
Yeah, I mean, I never seen we miss 14 free throws, 25 turnovers, still win the game. That's rarely. Got to work on my free throws for sure. But just, this is a game of runs. Everybody going to have runs, especially like Memphis. They have a great team, great players. So you just got to stay in the game.
You played in big games before, but with the implications of the NBA Cup, did this feel any different than your regular season game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, NBA comes out different. I think the energy is different, and I think the crowd was really into it today. So I really appreciate all the fans coming, staying for this game. So it was fun.
It didn't end up mattering because OKC won their group, but did you know what the point differential situation was?
Yeah, I'll be the first in point differential for sure.
Luka, en los primeros partidos hubo problema con encerrar los partidos, o sea, no se daban las victorias. ¿Qué crees que cambió, ya que ha dado el equipo un gran cambio y últimamente ha tenido grandes victorias con grandes equipos? ¿Qué crees tú que haya cambiado?
No, hay cambio. Alguna vez vas a ganar, algunas no. Creo que yo y Cari somos de los mejores en acabar partidos, así que tenemos confianza de que podemos hacer.
Luka, you mentioned tonight being a game of runs and having to stay in the game. How would you describe the fight on this team?
Big fight, never give up. We were down, I think 12, but 15 with I don't know how many minutes to go. And we just kept in there. We fought and we won.
Kyrie's a guy that's been real consistent throughout the season. Is it odd to see him kind of struggle the way he did on the offensive end?
Yeah, very odd. But just, I know everybody here looks just the shots. He did more things, It's not only about the shots. Sometimes they're going to fall, sometimes no. With Kyrie, a lot of times, yes. But he did a lot of other stuff, so that's it.
You had an efficient 37-point performance. What were some of the things that you saw throughout the game that helped you have that performance?
Just being aggressive, shooting good shots, and trying to make my free throws.
And on the other end, you had 4 steals. I had said 5 for a little bit.
Somebody's going to ask me about my defense. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. I think This season has been one of the best defensive seasons. I know people don't see it, but I'm trying and I'll just get better.
What area on defense would you say you got grown most?
Just overall, a little bit of everything, more energy. That's it.
How would you say this group is coming together defensively? Because it's ranked in the top 10 defensively all season so far.
Yeah, I think we still got a lot of improvement, but we've been defending, I think, big time, but I think we still got a lot of room left.
Seemed like after you got the tech, that's when you really picked it up on the defensive end. Did that have any, factor in that?
No, but he said he'll get it back, so, because I didn't say a word, so hopefully we'll get it back.
Yeah, did you get much of an explanation for that or not at all?
Yeah, he thought I waved him off twice. I just said I did like this and raised my hand, and he thought I did it twice. And we talk about it. It's all good.
Coach is here.
Yeah, coach, you got it.
What did you see, Spence, on those back-to-back threes you hit for late in the fourth quarter?
When the ball was outletted to Kyrie, Kyrie kind of threw it ahead to me. I saw guys in the paint and just shot it with confidence. Second one was a little bit more simple. I think obviously the first one kind of, takes a little bit to hit. Second one's just a swing. So, PJ caught the corner pass from Luka. Kyrie. Sorry, Kyrie made the corner pass to PJ. PJ just swing, and I was wide open. So that one you just step up and knock it down, live with the result.
How did you guys turn this thing around? Because you had more turnovers in the third quarter than you had made field goals.
Yeah, that was bad. No, I mean, we're a very resilient team. We believe in the group that we have. We think we have enough talent on both the offensive and defensive sides to make a run against any team. And it was just all about kind of staying together in that moment.
What does it feel like to be in the midst of that when it does feel like everything's going wrong, when you keep looking up and it's another turnover, another free throw? How do you stay grounded?
I mean, just keeping an eye on the big goal. We wanted to go to Vegas, obviously. So shout out to the NBA for the Cup game and adding that, extra layer of competitiveness. We didn't want to let the game completely slip away. From there, then it's just one play at a time.
How much were you focusing on the Vegas implications? Obviously, you said you were aware of it. Were you, were you looking at the standings? Did you know what would happen with a win? And
we didn't know everything, but we knew obviously to a degree because of the New Orleans win that if we won, we had a pretty good chance. So, approaching the game with that mindset. And again, shout out to the NBA for adding another layer of competitiveness in, November, December. And so we really didn't want to let the game get away. Like I've seen games in the past that are early in November, December, stuff like that, and you maybe have a bad third quarter, you just say, you know what, we got a road trip coming up. Like, it is what it is. Obviously, we're playing for something meaningful, and that didn't happen tonight.
You've been on different teams before. Do you see this team kind of embracing adversity? You guys have dealt with injuries, close losses. Tonight was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Seeing this team kind of evolve in real time.
Definitely. I think everybody's watching it, right? I think, at the end of the day, to win a championship, we're going to need to be blessed with health, and we're going to have to get a core group that kind of gets to coalesce and grow together and get better, because we can't solely rely on depth, but especially getting through the season, that's par for the course. You're going to need that.
Spencer, how are you different this time around, physically, mentally, as a teammate here with the Mavericks? How are you different now?
I don't know. That was a very good question. That was a very good question. Obviously, a lot of bad stuff happened to me, but I don't think it really changed me as a person. I would say probably not, also because I'm a little bit older too. If all that bad stuff had happened and I was 19, 20, just getting into the league, I'd probably be a little more jaded. The funny thing is, when you're a little bit older, you kind of sometimes see the punch, and then sometimes you still see the punch and get knocked out. So, that's kind of what happened. But I don't think it, changed necessarily who I am as a teammate. I think, the one thing about the Mavs that I've loved and appreciated from day one, is just the camaraderie, and I've spoken to it before. I think J-Kid does a great job of communication, which has a trickle-down effect of guys, knowing their roles and, being better teammates because of it. And so it's a pleasure to be around, friends.
You said that doesn't change you as a teammate, but what are some of the lessons learned, or how did that affect you personally?
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm somebody that likes to go out on my own sword, so I'll deal with the consequences of whatever it is as long as I feel like I did the right thing or what was true to me. I feel like I did that. I got basically destroyed for it in terms of character and some pieces of legacy. And obviously, again, like I'm not a Hall of Famer or anything like that, but in terms of what I had built, which was a pretty solid starting career in the NBA. And so you take it on the chin. I didn't do anything wrong. Still feel that way to this day. But it's nothing you can dwell on. You move forward. Like the past is the past. Like you keep going. And like I said, like every experience from after that, you know, Lakers, Mavs, et cetera, and whatever is in the future, I'm supremely grateful for. I love my time there. I love my time here, as I've always said. And, you know, you keep pushing.
Do you feel like this season, especially these last 2 to 3 weeks, getting back the reputation that you should have?
I mean, again, right, like it's tough to say, you know, you don't even know if I'm going to be playing when we're fully healthy. You know, I signed on to help a team win a championship in whatever the form that is, whether that's, you know, big bro or whether that's, you know, 20 points or whether that's 10 assists or guarding Ja Morant or anything in between, right? And like I said, I think playing meaningful basketball at this stage in your career is probably the most you can ask for. I've had a ton of fun. Obviously, I want to stay in the rotation. Who wouldn't? But you know, you understand things come with it. Like that's the league, and that's being on a talented team and understanding all that. But again, like my focus is being here and trying to help the team win, actually a cup championship and a real championship. Yeah.
Resiliency. I see your shirt says "Proud Dad."
Yeah.
Older, how will you kind of instill that into them?
Oh man, Proud Dad's actually Theo Penson's brand. So shout out another Mav. You know, that's my dog. So supporting the family. And I think, you know, I have 2 boys. I think one thing that, you know, you notice growing up as a young man, like you're not going to really be given much. I think they'll obviously have a leg up because of who their dad was. But at the same time, like you want them to experience getting knocked down and getting up. Like you want them to be resilient. You want them to have good character. You want them to not quit and all of those stuff. So, you know, in a lot of ways, when the time comes, I actually have to be kind of hands off, you know? It's just one of those situations where you never let them die, but you're going to have to let them suffer a little bit. And, you know, it may or may not be popular, I don't know, but I'd rather have, like, great men than guys that just carried.
Back to the game, how do you win a game like this against a team that won 6 in a row and you turn the ball over 25 times?
Yeah, obviously the free throws helped. But again, like, we're resilient. We're a group that genuinely believes we can win any game. And like I said, the extra layer of competitiveness of the cup for sure. So, you know, we didn't let go of the rope. But just overall, like, we believe any given night we got the best player on the floor. Any given night we got the best closer on the floor, and those are 2 different people, right? We might have the best shooter on the floor, which is the 3rd person, the best lineup of rim protection, which is 2 other people, right? I'm, you know, naming people that, and then maybe one of the more versatile defenders in the league, which is a different person altogether. So, you know, we've got a lot of people, man, and we believe we can win.
Spencer, go ahead.
I know there's still more work to do, but what would a cup championship mean for this team?
I think, you know, just building. And I ain't gonna lie, I mean, obviously they paying, so. Hey, listen, I'm playing for free this year.
Spencer, so with your first stint with the Mavs, you had that stretch after the new year, hit a couple of game winners. Tonight you're hitting some big threes.
Yeah.
I know the roster is super different from what you had there in 2022, but what about returning? Is there a sense of you're more comfortable? What about this return has been so beneficial for you in this early season so far?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely comfortable, familiar with, you know, how to play with Luka and Kai, and again, we're a great team. And as far as shots like that, you know, I described it before, like, all you're trying to do in those tight moments or whatever is make the right decision. And if you trust your work and you're genuinely trying to do the right thing, then it's a make or miss. And so I think, you know, some guys get flustered or whatever, all that other stuff. At the end of the day, I know how hard I've worked, and I'm trying to make the right decision. So you step up and shoot, or you pass it, or whatever. It may be a turnover, maybe a missed shot, but I'm not doing that for anything other than trying to win the game. I'm not doing that for a flashy pass or for a heroic shot or anything of that nature. It's just, you know, I saw the game. Like even the tougher three, which was the one in transition, Kai kicked it ahead. I saw that, you know, obviously if I press the issue to the lane, that, you know, there was rim protection down there, and it could be a forced shot. Are you going to get the call? Maybe, maybe not. And Ja was kind of trailing me, and he wasn't really in a position to block it. So you step up and shoot it. You know, I didn't shoot it for any other reason than it would be, you know, beneficial to our team. Was fortunate enough to make it.
And you briefly touched on it, kind of the reality of when this team's not full, when the team is fully healthy. How you said you might not know if you're going to be in the rotation or not. How motivating is that? Is that hard to know? What's going through your head when you're kind of having that thought sitting up here?
Oh, it's definitely tough, but you know, you knew that coming in, right? So while I have my minutes, you try to do the best you can, and then if not, I mean, obviously, you know, we got a great OG in Smooth, you know what I'm saying, Markieff Morris, sorry, that I could be over there with and learning from and talking to and trying to, you know, drop gems on the young fellas the same way he does, you know, even coaching me up, and we only a couple years apart.
For sure. Like with you saying you kind of knew that coming in, what was the idea in your head that the Mavericks conveyed to you that, okay, Spencer, this is what we want you to be when you signed that deal?
Well, I mean, it was just that nothing was promised. You know what I'm saying? That we had a super talented group. You know, you get what you earn, which is, you know, all you can ask for.
How did y'all win that game? So many missed free throws and turnovers and just the way it went down the stretch.
It comes down to grit, you know. There's going to be games where, look back to last year where we were down by 30 and we still came back. So it's just making sure that we talk to one another and make sure that the fight never's over, no matter how much we're up, how much we're down.
What's it like to be in the middle of the game and before the final few minutes when it just feels like everything's going wrong?
You know, that's just the style of game. You know, everything's not going to go our way. Things are going to go up, things are going to go down. But we just got to be able to stay consistent throughout the whole game. You know, no matter if that's the refs calling, no matter if that's us turning the ball over, us making bad decisions or taking bad shots, we just got to be able to settle into the game. You know, take a deep breath, focus on what we need to do, and play the way we need to play.
Is that what you did when you had the missed free throws and then you stepped up for the final two and made them both?
Yep. You know, being in positions like that, you got to make them. You know, you got to be able to put everything outside of your head and lock in and make those two free throws. Shout out my mama.
How much were you guys thinking about the cup night games during the course of the game?
You know, it's another game, but, you know, it's more competitive. You know, you got a little bit more on the line, and it just makes you want to go out there and do what you need to do to win, no matter if that's having one of our top scorers be a facilitator or having other people step up because we have a different lineup out there. It's just going to be a next man up mentality and just trying to be able to just take it one play, one stop at a time.
Speaking of stepping up, how big were those two back-to-back baskets by Dinwiddie there in the fourth quarter?
Huge. You know, that's what he's been showing us his past couple of games is just who he is. He's just coming more comfortable in himself, more comfortable in our style of game. So it's just seeing him being who he is. It just makes us know we have another weapon out there and we have another person that we don't have to rely on, our two heavy hitters.
You guys have been through a lot of adversity this season, from injuries to last-second losses. To even coming back tonight, just what have you learned about your group in a short time?
We can fight, and we know we can fight. You know, even whenever we doubt for ourselves, whenever things are not going our way, we know we can stick together to get the job done. And no matter who's putting the ball in the rim, no matter who's having a good game, we all leaning on each other to try to play the best we can. So, yeah.
How's the shoulder?
All good, man.
Yeah.
Physical game, hit the floor, you got to get back up.
One more for you. Not that it really matters, but do you think people outside Dallas realize how good P.J. Washington is? How much he does for y'all?
If they don't watch the game and they just look at the stats, no. But if they watch the game and see how much dirty work he's doing, he's on the floor, he's gambling for loose balls, he's trying to get a jump ball, he's trying to get rebounds, he's trying to attack the rim, he's trying to shoot the ball. You know, my man P.J. is an amazing player. He does a lot for us, and, you know, I got his back just like how he got mine.
7 assists tonight.
Yeah, look at that, my man. Look, you see, like I said, you know, instead of Luka facilitating the ball, you know, he might have gotten 4 assists. We got PJ getting 7. So next man up mentality, like I said.
Since you sat back down, one more for you. I know everyone reps their hometown, but when it comes to you, even Morris and Uno, Jaden, y'all are, Midwest, Philly, Detroit. How would you describe what the fight that y'all bring to this team?
Just growing up, it's always no matter how many things are stacked up against you, no matter if it's life, no matter if it's family problems, no matter if it's mental problems, no matter if it's the streets going against you, you got to throw everything you can. No matter how many times you got knocked down, you got to get back up. And that's kind of been my life story. You can keep beating me up, but you ain't gonna kill me. So I'm gonna just keep pushing forward and do what I need to do, and that's my job.
What does that say about this team? Kyrie had been playing very well lately, but he had an off night tonight, and you guys were still able to win.
He's still Kyrie. He trusts us to pick him up whenever he picks us. Well, he trusts us to pick him up no matter what night it is, because he's always gonna pick us up. You're always gonna lean on him for guidance, for leadership, and some nights he's gonna lean on us to give him to pick him up and try to be able to take a little bit of the load off him because he's been doing so much for us. We got to help him out.
What about that key play where the challenge play at the end, you end up with 2 free throws after they challenged it? It kind of worked out in your guys' favor, didn't it?
For sure, yeah. In positions like that, it's just the basketball gods. You got to be able to. Those plays wouldn't happen unless we would have been hustling the whole game to try to get to that point. Going, not caring about fouls, not caring about turnovers, not caring about missed shots, just staying into the game and going out there and playing the style we like.
Jason, where did your team find the energy there in the fourth quarter to turn it around? It seemed like everything was going against you there in the third quarter.
Yeah, I thought the group did a great job of staying together. There was a lot of positivity on the bench. We just kept fighting. A lot of turnovers. Things that we haven't been doing, and the team stayed together. It wasn't just a one-man show. It wasn't just Luka carrying us. It wasn't Kai. Spencer steps up and makes some big shots, but the defense, the group that was out there, getting the turnovers and getting the stops at the right time. Again, early in the season, we had those same opportunities. The ball just didn't bounce our way. Tonight, the ball bounced our way.
It seemed like that challenge play went in you guys' favor because instead of you taking the ball out of bounds, you get 2 free throws and you end the game on a 15-5 run from there.
Yeah, the challenge is tricky. It's not as easy as people think it is sitting at the stands and sitting at home because now the play is extended. So it comes before the call or after the call, and they have 5 minutes to review it. We have 20 seconds. There's a lot of hope. And I think the fans need to understand that it's not as easy as just what you see on the big screen or at home. It happens before, and so that play, it's hard for a coach, because you got to trust your team and your review group, but you don't have time to fast forward or, see what happened before the hold or after what takes place. You can only see what happens at that moment. That rule is because of us. In the Western Conference Finals against Minnesota. So, it's a tricky thing now because this thing gets extended. And so you got to be right. And unfortunately, they weren't right, and we got 2 free throws out of it. That's it? Cool. All right.